Hi, everybody. We're live inside the KPRC Channel 2 newsroom. Randy and Adam Wexler with you as we're getting ready for the 5 o'clock sportscast and Sports Sunday coming up tonight. We got a lot to talk about, and one of the stories is the coaching carousel out there in college football. Every year, Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving is when this thing starts heating up across the country as schools have openings. They fire coaches. They got guys on the move. We've got one at Texas A&M, the firing today of Kevin Sumlin. According to the Chronicle report, it was going to happen no matter what. Sure enough, that's what went down in College Station. Yeah, no shortage of quarters to get that carousel running, and it is off and running. And the SEC is the center of it all, as you mentioned early in the 5 o'clock newscast with Texas A&M firing you. Kevin Sumlin earlier today, the coaches, the staff, the players, and the administration got together, gave the word to the players and coaches. They were able to make it final. Kevin Sumlin will get his buyout, but he is obviously $10 million. $10 million.
Wow.
A lot of people tweeting immediately after that, can you get me Kevin Sumlin's agent's phone number for him to go in there? And again, a lot of people look at that 11-2 season to get things started. Administration is looking at these 4 consecutive 5-loss seasons, which are what he finishes up with. None of them more, the 8-5s for 3 consecutive years. This year, technically, he'll finish 7-5 as the Aggies await their bowl bid, and then the 9-win season is all that was in between the Manziel first year and those other years. And you said it at 5, they did win. And I think you can look at it just not simply enough, not enough of the big games. Again, a loss to LSU, which this year probably had no significance, because the decision was already made, but there's someone they couldn't beat. There's so many teams in that boat. That's what people were looking at. And again, outside of those early years, they didn't have a winning record inside the SEC. They were either at 4-4 or a little bit worse. This year, they had a chance to be better had they finished things out last night a little bit differently. So what we've heard today, according to a source I have close to the situation there at A&M, they have a deal in place with Jimbo Fisher at Florida State, and it's been reported that he was going to be the top target. That deal is now in place, and I guess Florida State has one more game to play, a rescheduled game from a cancellation against Louisiana Monroe, and they need that win to become bowl eligible. They're going to play that game on Saturday. I'm told that Fisher will coach that game, and then right after that game, the wheels will be in motion to go and complete the process, and soon after that, perhaps Sunday, maybe Monday of next week, he'll be introduced in Aggieland. Really the first down season for Fisher at Florida State, quarterback injury right out of the gate, and they've obviously suffered from that over the course of this season, sitting here at 5-6 as we talk to you right now, but they're just a couple of years removed from that undefeated national championship season. 10-win season's pretty normal for Florida State under Jimbo Fisher. His time in the South as he makes that transition back here to Texas A&M, he spent 2000-2006 at LSU, obviously working with Nick Saban then and Les Miles. So in terms of recruiting, and guess who comes to Texas to recruit quite a bit? Florida State. So I think from that standpoint. Well, they got the kid Marvin, what's Marvin's last name, from Episcopal High School. Come on, Big Marv? Big Marv, yeah. He's at Florida State. Over the years, they've had several big names out of the Houston area. And so I don't think that'll be much of an issue. But quite honestly, recruiting with Coach Sumlin didn't seem to be either. And even the classes that he now will not coach, the guys who've committed from the class of 2018 and even in 2019, they have players there. And if you look at that roster, I think there's players there. It is kind of perplexing why they didn't win a little bit more. But I think people have to recognize where they are. Up until yesterday, everyone thought there's Alabama and everybody else. Maybe Auburn's catching them. Maybe Georgia's catching them. But Florida, Mississippi State, they're doing the switch there. Mississippi State's coach is going to Florida, and obviously with Tennessee and Arkansas, and now Texas A&M, everybody's still trying to catch, essentially, Alabama, and that's what the AD at Texas A&M, Scott Woodward, thinks is possible, while others wonder if, keep in mind, Texas did it with Mack Brown. They have not won since they fired Mack Brown. 4 straight seasons of disappointments. When I say win, all relative. Losing seasons with Charlie, and then the situation now with Tom Herman. And people look at the R.C. Slocum era to the Kevin Sumlin era. This new coach can't win 9 games. He has to win 10 games or more. All right, we're in weather now. We're live on our 5 o'clock news, so I'm going to sign up for now. Wex and I, we'll join back in, though. We'll sign back up. Start answering some questions. Signing back in. We'll answer questions as well, unless you want to keep talking, I'll come doing it. But I think we'll redo it here in just a little while. We'll talk more about the coaching changes and the day in the NFL as well. We've got lots to talk about in sports and Sports Sunday coming up tonight. And we'll dive into it. We'll jump back on Facebook Live in just a little while. I've got to get to the studio right now before I'm late, right? Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. We'll talk to you again here in just a little bit.